Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. From the new Evolution 9 collection comes the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Diver SLGA015. This watch, 43.8 millimeters in diameter in what Grand Seiko calls high-intensity titanium, similar to grade 5. It's 43.8 in diameter by 13.9 thick. From lug tip to lug tip, if we're just measuring the case, it's 51 millimeters. From end link to end link, the total distance across the wrist is 55 millimeters, and there's a 23 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll pop open the clasp, which you can see features both a clamshell and trigger locks, and now throw it on the wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and this is a big watch. There's no getting around that. It's light, though. Being all sapphire, ceramic, and titanium, it doesn't feel enormous. That said, if you look at me over the top and then down the barrel, you can see that this watch is right out to the limit of what's acceptable visually. So with this distance shot, and I'll move out even a little bit more, you can see the watch looks just fine in proportion to the rest of my arm. I would wear this watch on a wrist my size. What I would not do is wear it on a smaller wrist than mine. So 16 centimeters circumference or larger. Zooming back in, the bracelet uses a conforming end link to better mate it to the case. And you can see it matches the slope of the lugs as well as the curve of the case. The links do taper down from the end link towards the bracelet. We have little shoulder bevels polished on the edges of the links. And you'll see that removable links here, because this is a Grand Seiko bracelet, they use pins and sleeves, so you need a block and punch if you want to size this and drive the pin and sleeve out. We have several divots internally, so you can use your strap tool to adjust the anchoring point to fine-tune the fit. And then, of course, we have a telescoping system that allows you to incrementally adjust while the watch is on the wrist. So you have the ability to make adjustments if you want to fine-tune the fit, but also extend it out all the way over a dive suit if necessary. And again, you have those double locking factors, as we have a combination of the trigger release and then the clamshell on top of that. And you can see the Grand Seiko logo with a chiseled pattern around polished letters and border and then satin outboard. It's a very rich look. Rolling over to the case, Grand Seiko is one of the few mainstream luxury brands that still expects you to use a strap tool and encourages it, as we have strap tool holes in the flanks of the lugs. Now, I mentioned that this is what Grand Seiko calls high-intensity titanium, but I know one thing to be true. You can't polish grade 2 titanium, and this titanium, which clearly can be polished, is advertised as being exceptionally hard and scratch-resistant, which is why I believe it is probably some variety of grade 5, which is a good thing, even if Grand Seiko does try to brand it high intensity as though it were an original alloy. Grade 5 titanium is the good stuff. It's the titanium you want. Now, what is polished here has been polished using the tin plate method. Grand Seiko calls this Zaratsu finish. It's done by eye and hand coordination and craft knowledge. It takes about 3 years to master, and that's why this case, despite having a mainstream luxury price, is hand finished like a high luxury watch would be. We do have faceted crown guards. We have a screw down crown. The watch is 200 meters water resistant. The bezel knurling is wonderfully sharp and easy to grip, and you can see that there's two different finishes on the bezel. We have polished recesses, and then the outer faces, the outer edges that you grip, are satinated. We have a ceramic bezel insert to resist scratching, and a truly wonderful 120 click unidirectional rotating bezel action. It's one of the most satisfying. How it feels, how it sounds, the precision. I think with this watch, Grand Seiko may have gone a leg up over Rolex, which I previously considered to be my reference point for this sort of thing. Very, very impressive. Now, the dial features applique indices, which have been polished on their outer facets, and at center we have aviation-style cathedral hands, including a broad arrow minute hand, unusual on a dive watch, but you can see that they are satinated for better contrast against the base. Polish does tend to blend in with black, and you can see that there is a loomed counterweighted bob to the seconds hand, which in spring drive fashion has no ticks, no tocks, no stops, no stagger. It glides perfectly smooth. This is the new twin barrel spring drive, automatic winding, 5 days of power reserve. We have a power reserve indicator between 8 and 9 o'clock. The watch does include both hacking and quick set functions. So if you pull the crown out, that's hacking, that's stop second. And then you have the quick set capability. If you wish to rapidly cycle the date, you can do so. We'll do a Lume Shot now so you can get a good look at the watch in the dark. No shortage of lume, and all 3 hands loomed, so you know the watch is running in the dark. Easy to line up the bezel pearl with the minute hand. And of course, I always prefer a dive watch to a chronograph because most of the time, intervals that I time are going to be relatively small, and then having this large radial scale makes it easy to read individual minutes. That can be difficult on a chronograph that has a subdial with little hashes. This is a lot more intuitive and legible to me. Now, you can't see the movement through the reverse side, but it is the next generation spring drive automatic. You can see that vintage Grand Seiko logo on the back. So the current spring drive recently released is the 9RA5. So automatic winding, 5 days power reserve, twin mainspring barrels. It's got stop seconds, quick set, the power reserve indicator, and it all pivots on 38 joules. It is also more accurate than the previous standard spring drive at 1/2 a second per day, but it averages out to about plus or minus 10 seconds a month. Remember, spring drive has no batteries, no capacitors, no motors. All the action is driven by the spring. All of the energy is derived from the spring. It does have a quartz oscillator that's woken up by an induced current created by a unidirectional governing wheel, and then a back EMF where electromagnetic force is used as a braking force on that governing wheel to slow its motion, and it in turn is geared to the hands. So that's how spring drive works. It is a fully mechanically driven watch. Now, about the dial, you can see it has a black wave pattern to it. This is designed to reference the Kunoshio current, or the black stream, as it's nicknamed in Japan. It is a high-speed ocean current that swells up along the coast of the Japanese archipelago towards the north. So this is the Kunoshio current dial, or the black stream. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.